Sometimes we may see ourselves as this limited persona, limited perception. And the reason that can happen is we haven't transformed what was once dying. You know how when there's parts of you that die, often what happens, it gets replaced with a new part. It gets replaced with a part that maybe you haven't explored quite yet, or you haven't released, you haven't seen. And that can really feel scary because you ask yourself, what happened to that part of me, that old part of me? And, almost this fear of rebirth, or am I really on the right track? And we sometimes confuse that with diseases, or we think I don't feel quite well because I have this certain disease. But sometimes our mind likes to play tricks with us to convince us that we are feeling sick so that we don't encounter whatever life is being, whatever life is presenting to us. And while that can be a kind of like a normal case scenario, look at it from a different angle, that if life is trying to present this to me, or if life is trying to show this, what can I learn from it? And often it comes in really little things, and things that um, is not obvious till you start exploring what it might have led you to, what it might have um, continued to show you. But if you're not willing to see that, if you're not willing to fight for that, if you're not willing to go through what life is presenting to you, then you're resisting the challenges, you're resisting the lessons that can perhaps come with it. So we end up fighting that part of us instead of embracing everything that life is trying to show to us. It can be difficult if you are a narrow-minded, or if you are in a limited perspective of, life is happening against me. Why is this happening to me? And we are, almost stuck in this victim mode, that nothing is sort of going to work out for me, and nothing is working out, and blaming yourself, blaming the circumstances, blaming even people that you're living with. So come at this with a confrontation that yes, this is happening. Yes, this is going on. Yes, it's, not the greatest situation of my life. But what if this is a chance for me to expand, right? What if it's a chance for me to learn the most about myself? And imagine it this way, that you are like, you're not so aware of yourself, you don't know your likes from your dislikes, you're not quite sure about who you are in life because you haven't tried enough things to make a list, to explore. And when that can happen, you lose sight with what brings you to life. You lose this passion to explore what's out there, because you've shut the doors. So, what we want to do here is we want to open back the door and see what life is bringing ahead, to take in, to nurture the part of us that maybe hasn't been allowed to come out. And so, it's a great opportunity to not just explore, but to learn different ways where we can challenge our old ways of being, our old mindset, our repatterning, the part of your brain which is responsible for new experiences, for new things to come in. It's gonna, expand in a way because you're allowing it to. You're trying, you're not just here to live your life from day to day task and just go on by your day, but you're here to take everything that you've learned about your life and um, save it, collect it in that, to collect it in a part of your brain, and there's kind of those neurotransmitters connecting then the dots, and it's rewiring, it's reconditioning what you've always known, which is a beautiful thing, even if it might not seem like so in that moment. In that moment, it's going to seem like, heck, I am at my lowest, and life keeps bringing a lot of things at me. So, how is this even a lesson, right? When you're in that state, you're not going to look for the positives. Your mind will likely look for the negative things, the things that are not working, people you can blame, including yourself. You're not going to make the great choices. You won't look for challenge. You won't look for opportunities. You're going to be in this cycle of this happened to me. What am I gonna do? There's nothing I can do. Sorry, there's nothing I can do, not why or what can I do. Because when you're in that state, you're not gonna ask what I'm gonna do. You would just um, be in that state of I can't do anything right now. I cannot move, and I really don't see anything moving forward. And coming out of that cycle, what you gotta do is first realize that it's a moment, it's a situation, and it's a state where you can come out of eventually. But in that moment, what you're required is for you to be present with the challenges, because that's your greatest lesson, that's your greatest teacher there. So instead of resisting, which most people do, really, like most people live their lives resisting what's coming instead of welcoming it in. And you're like, well, how do I even welcome this unpleasant experience? Are you crazy? Well, yes, it doesn't make sense in that moment because you're in fight or flight. You're trying to get out of the situation, right? And you're anxious and your thoughts are not accumulated. You're not thinking well, you're not eating well, you're not really functioning in your best. Being in that state and feeling your emotions, letting it out, breathing it through is your only way out. But if you remain in the cycle and nothing changes, that means there is more to release. Or that sometimes your head, your brain can be looping around the same scenario again and again, trying to feel bad, trying to feel sad about your situation. But give yourself a block of, let's say, maximum a week, right? Minimum would be 3 days that I'm going to feel this. That, obviously, like not the whole day, but you're going to give yourself the time to experience all that, to get through all that, and to take your time because you need that space. But by trying to control or trying to escape for the situation, you're not going to learn anything about yourself. So, this is why it's a challenge. This is why not many people are willing to go into this journey because it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of, courage, but the more you get into the process, the easier it becomes, and the less resistant you are to letting it go and to experiencing a different energy and experiencing a different um, reality. Because whatever you're imprisoned to, anything that you're imprisoned to, that means it's controlling you. That means it has power over you. But anything that you can shape and almost um have that perspective to look it through so you can understand it more, that means you have control over it. Anything that you can take and look at and then apply the lesson, see what's trying to present to you, that's coming from a place of, I'm open, I'm receiving. And this doesn't mean that you're receiving all the negative things and bad things, but receiving is also about letting go what is not serving. Receiving, it's about closing doors that no longer needs to be opened. Closing means This is enough. That's a boundary there. I got to move forward. I must learn to let go. Letting go also means releasing any baggages, right? Anything you are still holding on to, anything you're trying to make sense of logically is not going to be released by your body because you're working with the mind. What we want to do is we want to work with the energy, we want to work with the body, somatic release, right? So whether that be here, let's do this exercise, whether that be here sitting, right? So sit cross-legged or maybe even lying in your couch bed or sitting down on a chair. All you need is just a few, few moments of silence with yourself as we do this practice so you experience it yourself. So find a comfortable seat and just begin to close your eyes and stay with me as you're guided with my voice. So we're gonna take a deep breath through your nose. So inhale with me. And when you exhale, let it out through your mouth. We're gonna do two of those. Inhale through your nose and exhale it through your mouth, making a sound. Last one, inhale through your nose. And you exhale out through your mouth, making any sound that you feel called to. Beautiful. Keeping your eyes closed. When was the last or the first time that you felt this emotion right now in your body? When was the first time you felt this emotion? As you were breathing, hold on to that emotion. Anything that came up, do not resist. I'm with you. Be with your emotion. Be with whatever comes up. Even if there is resistance, I want you to breathe through it. When was the first time I felt this emotion? Anything comes up. It could be a sensation, anything in your body you may notice, a word, a sound, maybe. Trust whatever comes up. Doesn't have to make logical sense. Just connect through your breath, tune back into your body, follow your breath in and letting go. We're going to take 3 more of those breaths. So inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, you're going to exhale it so loud. So inhale gently through your nose. Letting it go through your mouth. Ooh, any sound that wants to come out. Inhale through your nose. Exhaling it out. Oh. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Anything that comes up, let it come. Last breath in. Through your mouth. You can do this. If you feel that you may need to step away, you may do so. And come back to your body slowly to the room and open your eyes and welcome back. Well, this short exercise not only connects you with your breath, but it is a pathway to any resistance. If you're watching this and you're someone who's been suppressing for years, and maybe you have some unhealthy habits in your life, whether it's smoking, drugs, overeating, maybe working out excessively more your body needs to, you're stuck in your past, you cannot be yourself, and you're just in this cycle of it's basically an old reprogramming. Your body is still an old program. just this exercise can bring so much awareness and can release so much more than you think. You see, it was so simple. It was short. It was so, like it wasn't too complicated. You can just do it anywhere. And it was just breaths. But it's not just breath. As we're taking and inhaling this breath, it's passing, through your chakras, and remember that those breaths that you took, I actually forgot to mention, but we want to take the inhale through the belly. So we're inhaling and we're imagining our belly is expanding like a balloon. But if we are breathing from our chest, that's when it's, hyperventilating. That's when we're not actually breathing. That's not called breath. So if you're breathing like here you're actually breathing in tension, or as you're breathing, you're creating tension in your body. You're not releasing anything, you're not feeling anything. This is what happens when you're fight and flight. Let's say that there is a tiger running, chasing you, and this is how you're gonna breathe, right? And it's intense, right? As you can do it, you can also try it. Like do, like even your physiology, everything changes. Your eye, your brows start to fold, and you start to feel the stress, even if there's no lion chasing you, but as you're breathing, you're feeling already the tension, like someone is chasing you. Wild, isn't it? So, how we want to come back to our breath is by, taking it through and following it through the chest, your abdominal, and then through your belly. You're expanding, you're breathing from your diaphragm. That's the correct way of breathing. That's your prana, that's your life force energy. That's where you got to breathe from. And we've not all been taught that. I wasn't aware of this till I studied this, till I studied yoga, till I learned so many things about our body. That's when I took a hold of, I'm aware when I'm feeling anxious, maybe. Well, I never had like really panic attacks, but I know people that do, and they explain it as this, this heightened sensation on their chest, like, oh my God, I feel like death, like I feel like dying, when it's not really proportionate to reality. It's not true that they're dying, but it feels like death because, it's exhausting. Like they haven't been breathing while maybe, those fears are not true, and our mind makes it so to be so huge. So we are in this survival. We learn to survive that way. But when we're breathing and we're aware of our breath, when we're anxious, when we're nervous, when um it feels like, wow, I feel like my heart is racing so fast. How can I slow it down? How can I calm myself down? These breaths can help and go such a long way. You know, with that also comes meditation is such a powerful tool you can use. And my life has changed completely when I started to meditate. And I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And um, even if I don't have or so much time in my day, 5 minutes, everyone has 5 minutes of their day to pause, to meditate, to calm, to regulate. That's when you can be present in your conversations, your relationships. You become a better human by regulating your emotions. But let's say that you're out there and you may be struggling with this, which is why you're watching this video, that you're out there in the world, and you're looking at what other people are doing, and you're anxious and you have so much things to do, and you're overworking, and you have bills to pay. You maybe left a relationship, maybe you're heartbroken, maybe someone treated you wrong and you didn't know how to handle it, or that someone treated you wrong and you couldn't stand up for yourself. There is so much things that I can say right now, based on experience, and also like my own journey of studying breath and meditation and spirituality. And learning more about the body and psychology of the body, it just makes me so that this is my life's work, that this is what I want people to be aware of, because I know we can manage our anxiety. I know that we can manage stressful times. I know when we can regulate and come back to ourselves. We're not abandoning here, right? This is what we don't want to do. And this is what my mission is. I don't want you to abandon what's in here. If you're scared to feel, have someone next to you, or find a safe space, or just book in a call with me and let's have a chat. There are ways to then there are ways to lessen your suffering than just doing it by yourself, than just cruising around and pretending it's fine, and numbing yourself. When you are resisting your heart, you're resisting your relationship with yourself. Hence why relationships don't work, because people are not regulated. They come in relationship with each other, not knowing what they love, not knowing what they don't like, not knowing their boundaries, not knowing what keeps them alive, not knowing what they're passionate about, which it's is fine to the extent. Maybe not knowing uh, this person's best interests, not knowing how to regulate, which is the most important thing I find. Not knowing, not being self-aware, right? And this this is all to say that you can actually expand your knowledge, but you got to be resourceful. So, if there's anything that I didn't know about, it was probably my emotions and feeling them, and I was suppressing it in a very unconscious way, where before even just starting this journey, it was always um I knew there was something, but I didn't know how to put a point. Like, I didn't know how to tackle it. I didn't know how to pinpoint it. Like, I didn't quite realize what I was doing till I was aware or became aware. And it got worse and worse, because you're like, wow, I'm opening up to these negative things about myself, the shadows about myself. But these shadows are really important, so you get to see the learnings from it, because everyone has it. And I'm nothing near perfectionism, nothing near I'm enlightened, because there's no such thing. If they are, I think it's just the monks that I can talk about, but I'd love to see them actually. It's just hopefully I get to meditate one day with them, which I don't know how that's gonna go. Like, I don't trust myself with that. But you see, it's it's stepping stone, one step at a time. So don't say that you don't have a choice. Don't say that you can't do it. Don't say that there is nothing that can help right now, because that's also a limited perception. There is. But are you looking at it through your own lens of the suffering, from this place of, I gotta suffer, there's nothing I can do, people hate me, I don't like myself, da da da, and this negative thinking? I've been there and I've done it. Now I'm reprogramming my mind to, anytime I'm snapping or kind of going or noticing myself going through that cycle, I snap out of it. Okay, what's going on? Hey, like, I noticed that you're thinking this way. That's not fair on you. That's not fair on me to think that way. That's so negative. Why would I speak like this to myself? So, why do you speak like this to yourself? How can you nurture the relationship in here than going outside and fixing your relationships? Because you got to be responsible of how you feel. You got to be responsible of how you regulate, because nobody's going to come and show you how to do that, or at least feeling it for you, or on behalf of you. You can have as much tools as you want, as much things as you want, but nobody can ever feel for you, and that's just the truth. And it shouldn't be that way either. It should be that how to come back to your source when you're feeling lost and need guidance. Because you surely know. You just need to practice it. You just need to put on the reps. You just need to sit with yourself enough. I'm not saying like sit with yourself 1 hour, which I've done, but limit distractions and let your creativity take over. let yourself take over. Let yourself be guided by inspiration, by what fuels you and brings you to life, than what is out there, what is most popular, what would someone want me to do. Um, so I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments how that short breath work went, or really anything that I've shared. Thank you.